If you noticed, everyone here so far, including the video, has talked about the sun, the love affair that was maintained through the centuries by the angle of the sun at a certain time of year. The sun is all around us. It's fascinating. I stood out front and saw a beautiful sunset tonight. We have so many beautiful sunrises. For those of you that don't get up early in the morning, I encourage you. The sunrises are prettier than the sunsets. So take a look at it sometime. I don't know when I became fascinated with solar energy, but it was probably when I didn't know it. My grandmother used to set me on her little cushion, which was in a bay window, and outside the snow would be there, and the sun was shining in on a south-facing window, and I was warm. At the time, I didn't realize what I was learning, but that's what happens with solar energy, with understanding the sun. We're always either practicing offense, solar offense, or solar defense. In Tucson, we practice a heck of a lot of solar defense in the summer. Our utility bills, the economic factor, can influence us to do things to make our bills lower. Starting with an ordinary insulation, looking at windows, all of us can do something to make this planet better. And I challenge you all, when you leave here, to think about what you can do, one little thing, to save energy or to save water. And by the way, we haven't made the case well enough that when you save energy, you save water, a lot of water in our community. When you save water, you save energy. So think about that connection, because it's always there. It takes energy to pump the water up out of the ground or from a lake or from anywhere. It takes energy to circulate it all around our town. So when you save water, you save energy, and vice versa. My life has been a series of learning from brilliant people. I think I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I really related to the video because I'm still in love with my wife. I'd love to take that test. We've been married 20 years. She's the miracle of my life. I met her in the sunshine in a parking lot. Now, but going back a little further, I went to the 9th grade with her, and we had these parallel lives, and she worked at the university, and I became associated with the university, and over time we re-met. She's been one of my greatest enthusiasts for demonstrating what we can do with solar energy in buildings, particularly in homes. My greatest amount of information came from the Environmental Research Lab at the U of A, out by the airport, working with a couple of guys named Carl Hodges and Dr. John Peck. Most of my career was building high-end custom homes all around the foothills. We started our first solar developments in homes in the higher end because it did cost more money. Most people with lower budget would say they couldn't afford it. So as we would spend $10,000 on $1 million house, it's not much. But you spend $10,000 on a $100,000 house, it's a hell of a lot. So learning from custom building focused on quality of life, quality of building homes and other buildings. And being the builder of Biosphere 2, I was able to learn applications of almost dream-like solutions that a lot of people thought couldn't happen. Especially in my business, it was thought that if you were a builder and you did one of these more expensive things, you would lose money. You wouldn't be able to sell your houses. So my last project is downtown, an inner city development called Armory Park del Sol. which is, according to DOE, the most energy efficient development in the country. Everyone, my bankers, my friends said, "You're crazy, John, that'll never work. You can't do that in the inner city, especially Armory Park. It's a rental neighborhood." But guess what? Since we only have a limited amount of time, some of my stories have to go to the end. We are now working on our last lot, and as a builder and as a developer, we made a profit. So part of my objective in building Armory Park del Sol was to show my industry you can in fact do good things and make a profit. I'm proud to say I made a taxable profit. Hated to pay the taxes. The crazy part, one part is just an aside in our business. If you're a developer and you're a builder, usually you lose money for a long time, but all of a sudden it hits you and you better plan for that moment because IRS loves to get your money. We, as part of our ventures in solar, we did a lot of local political work, statewide and federal. We finally got a law passed that said solar energy, if you spend $10,000, you can have a tax credit of 30%, $3,000 right off the bottom line. Now, that's a subsidy, but what better way to subsidize, what better purpose than something that actually helps our planet? You know, we all need to think about the planetary welfare, not just how we benefit today, but how our children, our grandchildren, future generations will benefit. I personally believe we have abused Earth like some other abuse problems, but the recovery can happen. And if we utilize solar energy enough, we can not only keep it as good as it is now, we can improve the quality of life on this planet. We can make things better, each one of us. And I got to tell you, my grandmother at her knee told me one person can make a difference. And I believed her. Any one of you in the audience can add a solar water heater. There's a tax credit, and you're helping the pollution going up in the air from the coal-fired plants. You're helping the water solution. All those things can happen simply by utilizing solar energy. You can put on windows that face south that let the sun in, but hold the heat in the wintertime. In the summertime, you want to keep that heat out. So we've got windows, we've got insulation, we've got all kinds of support systems for the utilization of solar energy in the state of Arizona. There was a time, and fortunately for me, Governor Babbitt appointed me the chairman of the State Solar Commission, and I was able to retain that through 4 governors. Tried to make it non-political, but that's impossible. Governor Meekum fired me and then rehired me. My kids said, "Dad, if he appoints you, you won't take it, will you?" I said, sometimes principles must come before personalities. We were able to, at one point in time with our state tax credits, to measure in Arizona, we had more solar installations per capita than any other state for that 1 year. We made great progress. You normally wouldn't guess, but the state that won was Hawaii. They had more per capita, probably still do. So the development of solar in my life has been like climbing a dream up that pyramid that guy had built, and getting to the top and looking out and saying, I have been so blessed by knowing so many people that helped me to follow my dream. And when we were building the biosphere, one of our favorite quotes was from Goethe, who said, whatever you can do or think you can do, begin it now. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So whatever you can do today, begin it now. Think about your dreams. Think about the things that you can do to make this planet a better place to live. I focus on solar on just about everything I'm doing. When I drive my car and I want it to warm up today, I've parked it facing south. I got in the car and it was warm early this morning. When it's really cold, that really works. And if you've got a sandwich you want to be hot at noon and you're working on construction, you put it on your dashboard and by noon it's hot. One of my carpenters taught me that. So there's many, many practical utilizations of solar energy. We, as part of our system, working with the environmental energy, or the environmental laboratory at the U of A, developed what we call thermal mass storage. Now with all the old masonry homes in Tucson, it's easy to make them better. But what we do today is we build a wall out of almost solid concrete. Concrete block filled solid with concrete. But we insulate on the outside so that thermal mass storage of warmth and cool is controlled by the insulation. You can put any surface you want on it. Stucco is the normal. So we got masonry wall, insulation, stucco. Then you minimize the need for energy to start with. Your highs and your lows are brought way down, so you don't need as much solar energy. When I walked in this building tonight, I went outside looking for the old swimming pool because I used to swim in it when I was in high school. A city councilwoman and I worked together to put solar to heat the pool. And that's been 25, 30 years ago. The pool's gone, the solar's gone. There was a lot of copper in that solar. Somebody made money. So I'd like to find out where that is. But coming here was such a thrill to look at this old building. And I don't know if most of you knew it, but the boys' Y, you had to be naked to swim in the pool and walk through the water. So I was really enthused when a girl asked me to come swimming at the YW. Unfortunately, they had different rules, or good. So I just want to close by saying, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here and to be invited. I'm honored to be able to be with the people that are here, the speaker before me. Diane was great, the video. I was so interested and intent on that, I couldn't remember what I was supposed to talk about. But home is where the heart is. That's the theme. If the home is heated and cooled with solar energy, it has a warmer heart. So I leave you with that thought. Solar today is easy to put on. It functions well. We can predict and model what it will do. So I encourage you all to get involved and utilize solar energy.